Disneyland might be the happiest place on earth, but it's no secret it can also be one of the most overwhelming. But don't stress out at all. We are doing our full tour today, and I'm going to be spilling some secrets that even some Disney experts don't know.
There is no other theme park like Disneyland. Hosting more than 17 million visitors each year is the original Disney theme park. The park is a bucket list destination with its world-famous attractions, shows, theming, and food. Divided into 5 lands, Disneyland is Walt Disney's dream come to life, where you scale the Matterhorn, go on adventures with Indiana Jones, stroll with princesses, and more. It's the kind of place that brings something new every single visit, and there's more to see, ride, do, and taste than you could ever do in just one day. So whether you're planning your first or your 50th trip to Disneyland, travel along with me for a complete tour of this unforgettable park.
Now, kicking off your day, you're going to start with some of Disneyland's star attractions. A lot of these are going to be the reason that you actually wanted to come to Disneyland. However, they are also going to be the ones that have the longest lines. If you're not careful, these lines will have you waiting for hours. If you can manage it, rope dropping can save you tons of time. Rope dropping is getting to the parks about 30 minutes before the park opens, so that way you can hop in line to save you a little bit of time later throughout the rest of the day.
Rise of the Resistance is one of the most popular rides in Disneyland. Situated in Galaxy's Edge, this trackless ride will take you through an experience. You're helping Rey to keep the location of their rebel base secret until the First Order captures you and you're taken into custody. Over in Critter Corner, you'll find Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's a log flume attraction where you journey alongside Tiana to find a band of critters to help her play at the Mardi Gras party. Just around the corner in Fantasyland is Peter Pan's Flight. Climb aboard a pixie-dusted pirate ship to fly over London and off to Neverland, encountering characters from the classic Disney film along the way. The Matterhorn bobsleds are just around the corner and was the first steel coaster ever created. This thrilling coaster sees you racing to avoid the Yeti in the mountains. Tomorrowland is home to Space Mountain, a historic roller coaster where you'll hurtle through the dark past shooting stars and satellites. Adventureland is where we're wrapping up with our stars. First is the Jungle Cruise. It's a comedic boat ride through the rivers of the world where the skippers will keep you laughing with classic and surprising jokes. The final star is right next to the Jungle Cruise, and it's Indiana Jones Adventure. On this adventure, you're going to go in and follow an Indy's footsteps into the crumbling Temple of the Forbidden Eye, past intricate booby traps. Inspect the carvings that tell the story of Mara, a powerful deity who promises great treasure and vengeance to those foolish enough to gaze into its all-seeing eyes. Whether you choose to ride these rides at slower times, like first thing in the morning or last thing at night, pay attention to the lines with Disney's Lightning Lane system, or if you don't mind waiting an hour, they're probably going to make up most of your to-do list.
So now that you know about some of those higher stress attractions, you've probably rode some early this morning, we've rope dropped, and we've done the deed. Now it seems like you might be hungry for a little bit of breakfast, so let's break that down. Do you want to eat breakfast on Main Street, or maybe you're just looking for that perfect grab-and-go snack? Well, stick around because I've got you covered. In Disneyland, when it comes to dining, you can either do a table service restaurant, which is a sit-down dining option, or you can do a quick service, which is essentially a walk-up counter or kiosk.
Table services are often very popular, and we recommend getting an advanced dining reservation up to 60 days in advance in the app. Table service breakfast can be found at Carnation Cafe on Main Street with delicious Mickey waffles, and at the Plaza Inn with Minnie Mouse and friends sitting in the view of the castle. This spot becomes a quick service in the afternoon that serves the most incredible fried chicken and is a must-get.
Now, these are Disneyland's 2 table service breakfast options. They're a little bit cheaper than eating lunch or dinner, so maybe that's a reason you might want to do breakfast at these spots. These are a great way to experience a table service meal without really breaking the bank. If you don't want to commit to a long sit-down meal, a few quick service options offer some breakfast as well.
The most famous and my favorite quick service breakfast is the chimichanga cart in Frontierland called Ship to Shore. The Red Rose Tavern is a Beauty and the Beast themed joint that serves up Mickey pancakes and platters before it swaps its menu to flatbreads, burgers, and sandwiches later in the day. And Galactic Grill actually has chicken and waffles, bagel sandwiches, and breakfast burritos in the morning instead of their burgers and chicken tenders that will show up later in the day.
And you can find some sweet snacks that are served all day, whether you want them for breakfast or any other time.
Right here on Main Street is the Gibson Girls Ice Cream Parlor. You can pick up sundaes, floats, and hand-scooped ice cream at this spot. Also on Main Street, you can swing by one of my favorite stops for a coffee, which is Jolly Holiday Bakery Cafe. We grab our chimney sweep coffees, Mickey macarons, Matterhorn macaroons here, and more. You can also grab some breakfast along with some amazing grilled cheese sandwiches and regular sandwiches later in the day. If you need something more simple, Market House is right across the street and offers the full Starbucks menu. The mint julep bar is where you're going to find those perfectly fluffy Mickey beignets and mint juleps. Tropical Hideaway is a must-stop for your Disneyland sweets thanks to those Dole Whips. They have regular Dole Whip, chili lime mango whips, bao buns, and more. Finally, you can grab more coffee at Cafe Daisy, where you can also find sweet drinks, donuts, hot dogs, and pizza flopovers.
Okay, we're finally fueled up, so let's get back to those rides. You think you know all of the rides at Disneyland? Well, some of them might surprise you. Plus, I'll let you know which ones are actually worth it and which ones you can skip. We've covered the most popular rides, but Disneyland has tons of them. There's actually 49, so you'll want to be extra familiar with all of them so that way you can make your list of priorities and you can know which ones you want to skip later. Keep an eye out in the corner for our recommended must-dos. Let's take this land by land, shall we? Now starting here, Main Street is right behind me, and Main Street USA is based on Walt Disney's hometown, Marceline, Missouri, and it's going to be the first land you hit once you get into the parks.
On Main Street is where you're going to find the Main Street vehicles. Historical vehicles running up and down on the street, but warning, these will stop running around parade times and busier times. We've actually seen them running at the end of the night, but there's no guarantee. If you're a huge fan of Walt Disney himself, these are an absolute must. You can also hop on the Walt Disney Railroad for a 20-minute loop around Disneyland, with stops in New Orleans Square, Main Street, Tomorrowland, and Mickey's Toontown. Tip, if you're only going to ride a portion of it, hop on in Tomorrowland and you can get a really neat flash from the past.
Adventureland is our next stop, and it is going to take you to a world of mystical places, adventures filled with pirates, Dole Whips, and cruises through the jungle. Now, Adventureland has some incredible attractions, but they actually all made it into the Star Attractions section. So we're not really going to be breaking them down here. Next up is New Orleans Square, where you can celebrate the soulful culture of this music-loving land based all around 19th century New Orleans.
Pirates of the Caribbean is an exciting boat ride that's going to take you back to the golden age of piracy. It's a masterclass in storytelling and one of the most iconic Disney attractions, so it's certainly a must. And if you want to, you can say hi to Jack Sparrow for me. If you want to be slightly spooked, the Haunted Mansion is also here. Head inside this scary home to get an eerie tour complete with some ghoulish friends.
Now this is Disney's newest land, although technically it is just a re-theme. This is a musical marshland that is home to several little forest woodland creatures, and you can find them all right here.
In Critter Country, this is where you're going to find the boats that head over to Tom Sawyer Island and the Davy Crockett Explorers attraction. You get to paddle down the rivers of America on a grand ore venture, that's how they say it at Disney, all the way around the Pirate's Lair that you can find on Tom Sawyer Island. Beware, this is kind of a workout. If you're looking for something more relaxing, Winnie the Pooh is actually having a birthday party. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh takes you on a journey through the 100-acre woods before you land at Pooh's birthday party.
Now Galaxy's Edge is going to take you into a galaxy far, far away as you head into the world of Star Wars.
Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is going to put you right in the pilot seat, literally. This attraction lets you take control of the Millennium Falcon as a pilot, gunner, or engineer as you attempt to help grab some containers of coaxium.
Now Frontierland is going to transport you back to the time of the Wild West with tons of gorgeous peaks and maybe even a Frontier trading post or two.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is a thrilling runaway mine-car coaster, and yes, it is the wildest ride in the wilderness. You can also hop on some boat rides with the sailing ship Columbia and the Mark Twain Riverboat and go around Tom Sawyer Island.
Worlds of magic and splendor are going to await you here in Fantasyland, and it also has the most rides of any land, so you're going to want to hold on. Fun fact, if you aren't going to do one of those big attractions that we talked about already, this is going to be a great place for you to rope drop.
Dumbo the Flying Elephant is perhaps the most iconic Disney ride, so hop on to Dumbo and get to soaring. It's a Small World was originally developed in 1965 for the World's Fair and is still delighting guests with its charming boat ride around the world. Yet another iconic attraction can be found over here in Fantasyland in the form of the Mad Tea Party. Spinning teacups to tunes from Alice in Wonderland. And don't tell anyone, but I think this one might be my favorite version of the Mad Tea Party. The oldest attraction in Disneyland is actually King Arthur's Carousel. It was originally built in 1922 and was moved to Disneyland in 1955 when the park opened. One of the most famous Fantasyland rides is right next to the carousel, and it's called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Follow Mr. Toad on his drive that meets a very surprising and warm end. Across from Mr. Toad's, you're going to find two similar dark rides, the first being Snow White's Enchanted Wish. This dark ride is going to take you through the story of the original Disney princess. It is a recent retheme of the Snow White Scary Adventure attraction. Next up is Pinocchio's Daring Journey. Similarly to Snow White, it takes you through the story from the film, but it does a great job of reminding you quite how haunting the movie is. It's a little eerie. If you're looking for something perfectly unique to Disneyland, the Storybook Land canal boats will have your heart. It takes you into Storybook Land where you see the homes of your favorite fairy tale characters. Boats aren't everyone's thing, and we get that. Casey Junior Train offers you a mini train ride around Fantasyland where you get a different point of view of Storybook Land. Wrapping up Fantasyland is Alice in Wonderland's ride. This ride is a favorite of mine, and it takes you indoors and outdoors through Wonderland.
Have you ever wanted to step inside Mickey Mouse's house? Well, you can in Toontown. Toontown has so much lively energy. You can see a lot of your favorite characters here. There's amazing food and dining, and of course, those rides that we're about to break down.
In Toontown, you can head into a Disney cartoon that's just like something you've always wanted to take part in. Hop onto Mickey's Runaway Railway and go into the cartoons thanks to a little mishap with Goofy on this trackless attraction. You can help solve a few mysteries in Toontown over at Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. Catch a ride in a taxi and follow Roger Rabbit and Biddy the Cab as they race through Toontown in search of Jessica Rabbit. But beware, the villainous weasels are pouring slippery Toon Melt dip in the paths of the passing vehicles, including yours, so this one's gonna spin a bit. If you want a bit more of a thrill, check out Chip 'n Dale's Gadget Coaster. It's inspired by Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers.
Now we are going to head into the future right here at Tomorrowland. If you're ready to blast off and see what your future might look like, this is going to be the land for you.
Join Toy Story's Buzz Lightyear with some Astro Blasters for a competitive shooting game where you're going to battle Zurg and see if you can rack up the most points. On Autopia, you get your very own very loud and slow car to cruise around the track. Kiddos who can't drive a real car love this one. Grown-ups, not so much. However, I prefer this self-driving attraction in Disneyland. It's so much fun, and I have a weird obsession with Bird that no one else understands. In this same area, you can find the Disneyland monorail. This is technically considered a ride in Disneyland and will take you to downtown Disney. Have you ever thought, man, I wish I was in a submarine right now? Well, Disney's Finding Nemo submarine is right here for you. You get to head underwater to find Nemo and his pals exploring the ocean blue. Didn't we already talk about Star Wars? Well, we're bringing it back up because you can actually head to the stars on Star Tours, which is over in Tomorrowland, so don't get too confused. Fly through the galaxy with different rides thanks to the fun combination of experiences that make it different each time. At the entrance to Tomorrowland, take a spin on Astro Orbiter. This one has a bit more of a thrill than the other rotating attractions due to its speed.
But one thing about Disneyland, it is not just about the rides. No, you can actually see tons of characters here and come face to face with some of your favorite Disney pals.
In addition to character restaurants, there are also character meet and greets around Disneyland. You can actually find these in your My Disney Experience app. The most popular is going to include meeting Mickey at his house in Toontown and the princesses at Royal Hall. You will also see a lot of friends roaming around the park, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled. You can look for Aladdin and Jasmine, Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and more friends.
Whew, I think it might be time for a snack or treat, don't you? If you're looking for something simple like a pickle, turkey leg, pretzel, or slush, you can check out Edelweiss Snacks, Maurice's Treats, Good Boy Grocers, or the Main Street Snack Carts. But this is Disneyland, so chances are you're looking for a fun treat of some kind, and there are a lot of options. Disneyland is home to so many iconic snacks, so you need to make sure you're prepared to have a snack or maybe 10.
All right, now with our treats in hand, I think it's time for a little show. Disneyland has so many different things to do. I keep saying it, but it's not just all about the rides. Some of the best Disney Parks entertainment is right here in the OG park.
Disneyland is home to some incredible shows. Right here at the castle, you can see two different stories that rotate daily. Dynamic thespian duo Mr. Smythe and Mr. Jones are your hosts as they direct their witty versions of scenes from Beauty and the Beast and Tangled. You can catch these shows at the Royal Theater. Currently in Disneyland, there isn't a consistent parade that runs every day. Paint the Night is returning for 2025 for Disneyland's 70th anniversary, but at the time of filming, there is no consistent daytime parade.
And also keep an eye out for some live entertainment on Main Street like The Pianist that is over by the refreshment corner and the Dapper Dans. They're absolutely incredible. But a really cool thing about live entertainment, it is not just on Main Street, it is scattered all throughout the rest of the park as well.
In Adventureland, Walt Disney's Tiki Room brings the flowers and animatronic birds to life with catchy songs. Features the first ever animatronics, and you can eat a Dole Whip inside the theater. For my history buffs, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is an encounter with the great emancipator as he returns to tell the tale of generations past and share his stirring version of the future. Starting on July 17th, 2025, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is actually going to rotate out with another show called Walt Disney: A Magical Life. This show will feature Walt Disney as he immerses you in his life and legacy.
Now, we have been having a lot of fun, but what do you do when things actually go wrong in the parks? Because sometimes things will go wrong. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly where to go when you find yourself in that situation. So let's check out the map and check out all of the different places that you need to know just in case something goes wrong.
Guest services can be found in City Hall at the front of the park if you have any questions or problems during your day. And you can find help by looking for some guest experiences kiosks around the park. If you're feeling under the weather, get a sunburn or blister, or you're just getting sick, you can head over to First Aid. If you're navigating the park with a little one, the Baby Care Center has supplies for purchase, plus rooms for nursing and changing.
Okay, we're feeling good again, so let's play. Disneyland has so much to do, and there actually are a lot of interactive elements for people of all ages.
Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer Island is a massive island hideaway that you can explore just like your Tom Sawyer or Huck Finn. Wander through the pathways, cross bridges, explore caves, and climb through a fort, all while you're looking for long-lost pirate treasure.
Swiss Family Treehouse is a walkthrough attraction in Adventureland where you can climb up a souped-up treehouse and find beautiful views of the park.
Whew, it has been a big day. We've still got that big finale, so don't leave just yet. We've got a lot to look forward to, but I do think we should talk a little bit about what your lunch and dinner options are going to look like. If you're hungry in Disneyland, you're in for a real treat. I'm going to help you find the best meals without wasting that precious ride time. Now, maybe you did your table service meal at breakfast, and we don't really recommend doing more than one table service a day. It is super time consuming. It's just going to take up a lot of your park time. You've paid a lot of money to be here, and although we love the table service dining, it's not necessarily how we would recommend you spending your day. Or maybe the entire day has been all about quick service meals for you. In that case, we're headed to a quick service, so keep your eyes peeled for our recommendation star right in the corner.
Coca-Cola Refreshment Corner is on Main Street and it's known for its hot dogs, which do rotate, typically monthly. Bengal Barbecue is a quick service eatery that features grilled meats and vegetable skewers, snacks, and drinks, and is a massive favorite of mine and Quincy's. The Tiki Juice Bar is right outside of Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room and serves up pineapple juice and Dole Whip floats. Tropical Imports is where you can fill up for your safari with healthy provisions at a snack stand in Adventureland. It has a variety of fruit, whole cut, and fresh. Harbor Galley is a rustic counter service joint with water views that prepares lobster rolls, clam chowder, and amazing fresh baked cookies. If nothing else, get the cookies. Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree is where you can have a honey of a time digging through the best barbecue while you finger snap to your Country Bear favorite songs. Troubadour Tavern is adjacent to the Fantasyland Theater, and you can grab a bite without missing a beat at this quick service eatery that features a really fun menu of novelty snacks and tasty bites like these loaded potatoes. Find the fanciest and most unique chicken tenders at the Golden Horseshoe. It's a quick service, and there's even a live piano player inside.
The River Belle Terrace is a fan favorite table service with views of the water. They offer brunch with American breakfast favorites, and check out the menu later in the day for buttermilk fried chicken and more.
At the Stage Door Cafe, you can eat vittles like chicken tenders, Caesar wraps, or hand-dipped corn dogs. The Blue Bayou is a table service that's famous for its views of Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, and it serves up some Louisiana favorites. Cafe Orleans has a French Quarter flair at this historic New Orleans Square eatery, and if you're not getting the Monte Cristo, we really think you're missing out. The Royal Street Veranda is an open-air Disneyland counter service that sells Cajun-style soups and bread bowls plus beignets. Tiana's Palace is a newer quick service in this area. It's a New Orleans-themed eatery at Disneyland with Southern fare, counter service, and a guarded seating area. You can even grab Tiana's gumbo, beignets, and more. You can test out some really cool space food at Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo. This is perfect for adventurous eaters and Star Wars fans alike. You can also find the very famous cold brew black calf here, which is genuinely better in Disneyland than it is in Disney World. Katsaka's Kettle offers a variety of sweet and savory popcorns. And if you've ever wanted to try the blue and green milk from Star Wars, you can do it over at the milk stand. Now, Disneyland at one time was a dry park, but now you can grab a few alcoholic beverages, and one spot you can do that at is Oga's Cantina. You can step inside the Star Wars films and even enjoy a robot DJ at this spot. At Ronto Roasters, a large pod racing engine will power a barbecue pit that's being turned by a former settler droid, 8DJB. It has a variety of snacks, sandwiches, and non-alcoholic drinks. Alien Pizza Planet is over in Tomorrowland, and the little green aliens have taken over Red Rocket's Pizza Fort and transformed it into Alien Pizza Planet. They serve up specialties in their galaxy like pizza, pasta, and more.
And after such a fun day, you're gonna need a souvenir or two or three or a few dozen. There are shops all over Disneyland, and most of them are going to be themed to the areas you're in or the attractions that they're near. But if you are looking for your one-stop shop, you're going to check out the Emporium right here on Main Street. It is the biggest store in Disneyland, and it's where you're going to find the most things. And now it is finally time for that great big grand finale. Grab a spot to watch some fireworks on Main Street while they're running. Disneyland doesn't have nightly fireworks, so make sure to check that schedule. They will sometimes do projection-only evenings on the Sleeping Beauty Castle. Currently, Mickey's Mix Magic is an evening show that celebrates Mickey and Minnie. You can also head over to New Orleans Square to spot Fantasmic. Fantasmic is the beloved story where villains take over Mickey's dreams and turn them into nightmares. It's similar to Hollywood Studios' version, but there are some key differences that truly make it worth the watch. Okay, thank you guys so much for spending all this time with me. I hope you learned a lot about Disneyland. If you're still around, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe for our next full tour of Disney California Adventure. See you soon!